what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there, welcome to the Flash and Blow podcast. I'm Siobhan, taking shelter by the standing stones, miles from all that moves. Let's meet the plucky girl assistant and the special guest. First of all, we've got the Brian.
Hello.
And Brian, are you still American?
Let me see. Barbecue, guns, freedom. Yeah.
You are?
Barbecue, guns, and freedom, yeah.
You disappoint me, child. I'm sorry, but you do.
That sounds suspiciously like not freedom.
Wow. And we've got with us special guest coming into the daylight, blinking madly, trying to actually adjust. From the Library of Impossible Things, it's Simon Hart.
Hello.
Hello,
It's nice
dear.
to be here.
It's lovely to
It's
have
nice
you.
to have
here.
you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Part of the Maximum Power lot, she said, cottoning onto the poster behind you.
Yes.
I've seen your
various
thing in
other
the
podcast as well. Yes. So Maximum Power, the Blake Sutton podcast.
Yes.
And I'm a host on the Track One podcast as well.
Oh my word.
I know they keep me very busy.
Oh man, I'm getting flashbacks to when I was younger.
So what was it
happens
like?
a
Do you
lot
see dinosaurs
nowadays.
going by?
No, but I smell toast. Right. Let's do. Oh, for explanations. Lilibet can't make it tonight because she's from Florida, and so we're down one. But we have Simon here, and well, may Bod rest his soul. Quite frankly. Yeah.
I'm here. I don't.
Let's just do something. Actually, so as we have a guest, every show I open up with some song lyrics, and over the past few months, all the song lyrics have been connected, and I have been hoping, against a desperate hope, that either Lilibet or Brian will work out what the lyrics are, or even be half-assed to actually go off and Google.
Could you repeat tonight's lyrics, please?
Yes, certainly. Okay. Taking shelter by the standing stones, miles from all that moves. Come on, think.
I think I got it this time.
Okay, this is not going to be a repeat of the running joke, is it?
I think I got it.
All right, okay. Go on then, I trust you.
All right. Okay. I just want to see if our guest has it.
Oh, yeah, well, quite, yes.
No idea.
You get the first guess, so I mean.
Now, you're allowed
Sorry,
to not have any idea.
I've no idea, so I've let you down right from the start.
Not at all. You had no idea this was going to happen.
Yeah, this is like a pop quiz.
You're
it's
a guest. Seriously, I'm absolutely fine with that. It's this bloody colonial degenerate down here that... Come on.
Okay, all right.
Go on. Tell us. What is it?
John Hurt, 1984.
I fucking hate you. You said it wasn't going to be the running gag, Brian.
I lied.
Oh, I think it's going to be a good one
John
tonight.
Hurt, 1984 since 2021.
Something like that. Because it was John Hurt 1984 back then. Oh, God. Yeah. So, Brian, how's your fortnight been?
Yes. It's been interesting.
Retta's here.
I know, I said hello.
Yes, I know. We have a viewer.
We have a viewer.
Hello.
You see, we know our viewers by name.
She used to be a co-host.
She did. And then realised that actually we were a little bit too nerdy. I think that's
She
fair.
assigns homework.
Hello.
Okay.
Not all of us do it, but
We've come
pass
that
anyway.
close to doing one show when none of us had done anything.
Oh,
That close. I'm hoping.
I think
I've
we've
got my
done
fingers
that more
crossed.
than once.
I've got my fingers crossed. Oh man. Oh, Zombie Wolf 9000 is here. We say hello to our bots. It's the only
Yes, all the
audience we have.
bots on Twitch that come in to see us, we say hello.
I'd like to point something out. Ever since we started saying hello to the bots have vanished, and the only one still clinging on is Zombie Wolf 9000.
There we go.
There can be only one.
Ooh, that sounds rather bloodthirsty. Does
I'm
that
just
happen on
saying.
Twitch?
Maybe. It's Twitch. We don't know what the AI is doing anymore.
Oh, fuck. It's soon going to be the anniversary of Skynet, isn't it? Or it's just been.
Friday was the anniversary of Skynet. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
All right,
Thursday.
fine,
Thursday
then.
was Skynet Day. It was wonderful.
Was it? Do you want to redo
It
Threads?
was.
Do you want to watch Threads again then, do you?
I'll kill you. I'll come over there and kill you. I will. There will be death
Couple
and
of,
pain.
couple of years ago, I thought, hey, Brent, and hello, Ray. 3 viewers. This is madness. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying?
Threads.
Threads. Yeah, a couple of years ago. Actually, no, it was towards the start because I think Eddie was still with us.
Yeah.
I got them to watch Threads.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I never ever
didn't we
want to
do the
watch
day
Threads,
after the
ever.
week
I'm
before?
with you on-
Didn't we do the day after the show
No,
before?
we never did the day after. We
Oh,
did
that's
Threads.
right. I thought that was far too Hollywood. Let's go for realism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks.
That's all right.
Thanks for that.
it's a pleasure. Anytime. It's out on Blu-ray, you know.
I should make you watch Damnation Alley.
No, I've never seen that.
You should. It's interesting.
I like that. I like the ... Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Simon, how's your fortnight been?
Yes. Yeah, it's been busy. So yeah, what have I done? I have done various new episodes of my podcast, The Library of Impossible Things, which is going well. It's back for a new series, so that is going down very nicely at the moment. And yesterday I went off to the BFI to see the not new version of the Happiness Patrol, as it turned out. Which was a surprise to us all.
Well, you're now our man on the spot. You're our reporter because I couldn't go to that
Yeah.
event. I was at another event, which we'll tell you in a
Ah,
moment.
were you at Hooverville?
I was at Hooverville, you see. So,
Which I nearly went to, and then procrastinated about getting a ticket, and then ended up at the BFI. So
we've got it all covered. You see, this is what we
we
do
have.
for you folks.
it's like
Oh,
it was
dear.
meant to be.
It's
How was
covering
it?
the Hoovers.
How was it?
It was really good, actually. Despite us not getting to see the special edition, no one went away unhappy, because what that meant was one of the panels that they'd planned was cancelled because they didn't want to show off the models from the special edition that we're not going to see, so they didn't want to sort of ruin anything and talk about things that we hadn't seen. So that meant we actually got more of the panel with Chris Clough, with Andrew Cartmel, Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Eldred, and Dame Sheila Hancock.
That's one hell of a lineup.
Yeah,
It is a
and
lineup.
Sheila Hancock sat through the whole of the Happiness Patrol in the front row at the BFI, and came away saying she didn't follow a word, she didn't follow the story, but she absolutely loved it. And what she remembered, obviously, was her performance and the moral of the story. And she said the moral of the story is as pertinent now as it will, perhaps even more so now than it was back in 1988. And she just had such happy memories of doing it. And she was political, and she was brilliant, and she had so much to say about the state of the arts in the UK and how it's not treated seriously. She talks over everyone else.
Hello.
And say, and Sophie, what do you think? And she said, no, I've got something else I need to say. And things like that. So we got an extra sort of 10-15 minutes of that panel all together, which was brilliant. And there's so many great Chris Clough had many sort of great things to say about how Doctor Who hampered his career for a long time as a director, because he was there at the tail end of the show and it wasn't
He was
well
one
received.
him and Alan Waring were two of the stalwarts of that particular era.
Absolutely, and absolutely brilliant. And he said, for years, he said, I would sometimes leave it off my CV because people wouldn't take me seriously because I'd done this. He said, and yet I loved doing it because I got to work with special effects and I got to work with brilliant actors and I got to do things that are far more interesting than doing EastEnders. So
That's just it. I mean, at the time, there was nothing else like it on British telly. You
No,
couldn't,
he said it was
directors weren't
something-
getting the experience to do all that.
yeah, he said it was his training ground. He said if you could handle a Doctor Who, you could do anything after that. So he said, and you become fearless suddenly because you can do action and you can do special effects and you can do all of this stuff. So yeah, the others were Andrew Cartmel is the same as Andrew Cartmel always is. Very
Suave,
big up on his
demure,
own.
and lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Very hot on what he did, how sort of went around, and sort of I think actually one of the loveliest things was Graham Curry, who sadly died a few years ago. His wife and his daughter were in the audience, and while they didn't come up on stage, they wrote a thing that was read out about how sort of about Graham's relationship with the show, and particularly how sort of down the years, because it wasn't well received in 1988, he was quite down on it, and he said, and he was starting to see it sort of come round with newer fans coming into the show and really loving it. And at the last Doctor Who event he went to, he actually had people coming up and say, "Don't listen, I've always loved this story and never had a chance to say," and things like that. So it was sort of coming back round, and then sadly he died, but they said he would have been so proud to have his story up on the screen sort of representing that season, and that he would not have believed that anyone would actually want to watch it. So that was really touching.
Brian, that is how
Yes?
to do a comprehensive report. Please take notes.
Notes have been taken.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I like that. I've got to ask, when the Candyman first appeared, was there a cheer?
There was a cheer
Yes!
and laughter as
Yes!
well, so yes.
Perfect!
Nice.
And there was a huge laugh when he picked up the telephone and went,
Hello,
Candyman! And Sophie was there afterwards and she said, how did he pick up that phone with those hands? How did he do that? He was a genius.
I can't help but think that going to something like that is like going to see a big live screening of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Just everybody having fun and going in and expecting.
It's great. I mean,
everything.
you watch Doctor Who in an audience for the first time, providing, fingers crossed, it's a good one. But the communal feeling is lovely. It really is. Especially if it's a classic story, because we all know the story beats. We all know the bits where we will laugh, whatever. And, it's lovely. We look forward
Now, how many
to
people MST3K it?
You're being
Not
American,
that
aren't
many,
you?
actually. Yeah.
It's great. Sorry, please.
I think well, so just the joy is everyone laughing at the same bits, and then the sole bit of laughter from one person who has found one bit funny, and no one else has laughed at it as well.
Nice.
I went to the screening of the Five Doctors around this time last year, and I
it must have been.
always laugh at Anthony Ainley's performance throughout that. He's having so much fun and always makes me giggle. And the person next to me just tutted every time I laughed. So every time he tutted, I laughed harder the next time at the next bit just to really wind him up.
Anyway, he's joining
That's
us
how
tonight.
you do it. That is how you do it.
I have to admit, that is one
Absolutely.
thing I'd love to do. A showing of the Five Doctors, but like Rocky Horror, so there's shout back.
Oh,
lines.
absolutely.
Oh, absolutely,
But,
yeah.
So everybody knows you're going into this. It's a shout back one. Enjoy yourselves.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
you don't have
there
to.
was a moment where everybody did shout, "No, not the mind probe." Everybody joined in for that line. So it's just like we all kind of knew that we had to do this, and so
Yes,
it just happened.
it is the law of the
450
we.
people chanted that. Brilliant.
Oh man, oh I'm so good. I'm glad it was a good day. I really am. I haven't
Yeah,
been
it's
to one of
just
those.
a shame we didn't get to see the special edition. So, and particularly my friend who'd come down, it's his all-time favorite story. So he was really pleased, but he was kind of disappointed he wasn't seeing the new version of his thing.
But that's okay.
But
He'll still get to see it. It's now
Exactly,
it's just
and
going to
that's what he said. He said-
anticipation will be even better.
he said, I've just got another few weeks now to wait for this. So he said, that's fine.
When is it out? Is it September or October?
End of October.
Okay, that's I can save up for that then.
Mm-hmm.
See, I get mine a few days after everybody else because I order mine from Amazon. Yeah. What did I do yesterday? Oh well, we have on here things called sagas.
Oh God.
Right.
It's basically things happen to me, and they just keep happening to me. And we're in the middle of what's known as the car saga at the moment. Ha 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 ha. You just own Greek chorus.
You still need a pocket American, I'm telling
I
you.
knew can't you even let me explain?
No, because they're taking advantage of
Are
you.
you that desperate to get out of your country?
I'm that upset that you're being taken advantage
I
of.
don't think I am. All right, I know I'm a big softy.
I'm going to put a poll in chat.
Oh yeah, Retta. Who's she going to side with, Paco? They've been best friends for Christ knows how many years.
Okay.
That's if she's actually bothering to look at the moment. She might have just clicked on just to say, yeah, I'm here. Right, push that in the corner. So, basically, quick reprise. I'm on Motability, and every 3 years I have to change my cars over.
Yeah.
Got the letter coming through, and yep, great, hooray! Off to Hyundai to go and order the new car. Wonderful, great. Yep, we've got the car. I think it's at this particular dealership. Sorry, ADHD and really bad memory. I tend to drift off in sentences. I apologise.
Right.
You'll find this out about me.
It's okay.
So, turns out, she said July the 1st. Okay, great, wonderful. Phone up a day before July the 1st. When can I pick the car up tomorrow? Sorry, what? The car? And the other people said, no, maybe Wednesday? Come Wednesday is. And so it turns out the woman who now isn't working there anymore, not because of this, I suspect, had basically got it all very wrong. And so it was going to take a while for this new car to turn up. I'd ordered the 2024 model, obviously, and it had certain features to it which would be very useful for someone who uses a mobility scooter, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And waited and waited for this car to turn up. It turned up. Great, wonderful. After about a day, I realised there's something very wrong here. And I started to look. The model they'd given me was actually, at the very latest, a 2022 model,
Right.
rather than a 2024 model, which so didn't have these interesting new features. Okay, so we go down there, and it's, yep, we're going to have to change it all around, sort it all out of Motability. We'll find you the car you're supposed to have, not a problem. However, when you ordered your car, it was just £500 for an upfront payment. Yes, that's what I paid, that's what I expect. It's now going to be £1,500.
Okay.
So, I've been very cunning. I've been very, 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 very nice and polite and cheerful. Because if I'm honest with you, I don't think it's the dealership's. All right, the initial fault was the woman's, but the rest of it is all down to Hyundai itself, not the dealership. It's their procedures that are fucking this up, and not the dealership are just the poor guys on the front line. You got to remember, I'm not buying a car per se. They're not going to make much out of this. So, get a phone call last week, going up to Derby for Hooverville yesterday, and I really thought it would be good to have that plug socket so I could charge the scooter if I needed to. Got a phone call. come in tomorrow. We found you a car. Okay.
Everybody
You're going
thinks
to love
is
this,
just
Brian.
water.
You're going to love this. So, I get this new car. It's not my car. It's essentially a test drive. So I could have it for the Derby run, and I may as well hang on until my actual car turns up, which may be in a couple of weeks. Please note the word may. So I get in this car. I think, this is a bit posh. It's got leather seat. They'd given me the top spec, which was okay. It meant I lost a little bit of range. It's electric, but no, nice car. Very, very, very nice car with the features I needed. Did discover that the adaptive cruise control has problems recognizing what the speed limit is. But aside from that, yeah, great car. So, that's where we stand at the moment. I'm waiting to hear from them for when my car's actually going to turn up. Of course, I still don't know how much I'm going to have to pay up front, still. No idea at all.
So this new car is better than the one you spec'd out.
Yes.
Okay, never bring this up again to the dealer.
No, it's not going to work like that, my love. I'm sorry.
Sure, it will.
No, because it's not just the dealer; it's Motability as well. Motability.
That's great. When they bring it up, that's fine. That's on them.
Oh,
But never bring this up again to anyone.
Is it rude to interrupt people when they're making mistakes like this?
No.
Okay, so that's great. Fine. Like I say, I'm not sure how much I'm going to have to pay up front. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, drive up to Derby. Very, very pleasant. I had Karen, Keith, and Adam from the Staggering Stories podcast in the car with me. And quite frankly, I haven't laughed like that in so long. It was old friends. And it was... Those two journeys passed really quickly. Got to Hooverville. They, bless them, they get the mobility scooter out of the boot. Sorry, Brian. The trunk.
Thank you. I
It's
appreciate
all right,
that.
dear. It's okay. And I'd forgotten the key.
Oh.
After all this,
To the car or the scooter?
the scooter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were doing well.
Okay.
Up to then.
Which meant I was already seizing up because I'd hardly had any sleep, which meant I spent the whole day hardly able to walk. That was fun. Did do a good interview with Jason Quinn. I think Jason really enjoyed it. So he's the new DWM person. Oh, and Andrew Pixley approved. I'm sorry, you get Andrew Pixley's approval, you know you've made it. But I can't believe I did that. I'm not going to tell the dealership after, because they really did pull a few strings to get me to have a car that would work properly when I needed it. Oh,
That's fine. That's fine. They gave you a car that will work properly. Now, if they ask for it back, give it to them. If they don't,
yeah,
that's on them.
It's not going to work like that, sadly. They will. It's an automatic system. Sorry. Look, I'm fine
Just
with
saying.
how it is. You know, it'll work. It'll happen. It's
Well,
cool.
you haven't gotten the car you paid for.
Not yet. I've got a better one.
Exactly. So therefore,
Oh God, the difference between here we go. This is the difference between the British and the Americans. I'm not being silly.
I'm
now.
saying you
It's-
need a pocket American to do this. If you want, we will call the dealership for you. I will get Lilibit on the phone.
Interesting. It says we're up to 5 viewers.
Wow.
Hi, people. The tub party will start soon. Anyway, it was a lovely day yesterday. It really was. Got to meet old friends, get some more Scott Goodman's delicious cakes. Yeah, chap Gary Russell. He's a very, very old friend. And actually, I was listening to the Library of Impossible Things this evening, and I was listening to Gary's and thinking to myself, oh, bollocks. So, Simon, would you like to tell us what the Library of Impossible Things is, please?
So, the Library of Impossible Things is, as the intro says, a place where Doctor Who fans bring an object that they love and they bring their stories too. So, basically, they bring an object that symbolizes their fandom. So, it might be the first Doctor Who thing that they ever owned. It might be something that is just really important in their lives. Might be something just from the show that has really sort of grabbed them. It could be anything. So we've had all sorts of different things, really. And that's the hook for the conversation, because basically it's a conversation about your life as a Doctor Who fan, from when you started, why you think the show sort of grabbed you, and what it's done to your life ever since, be that good or bad. And I've had a mixture. So basically, it's as my guest Jim Sangster said, it's like the Doctor Who This Is Your Life, where you just go back and reminisce, but there aren't any special guests.
I've been, Brian might, if he remembers, confirm this, but I've been saying for quite some time now, fandom needs its own archive.
Mm-hmm.
These memories, these stories, so. They need to be recorded down, even if it's just, orally, because the stories from conventions and how things happened, and this, that, and the other, the fun we have, and it doesn't matter which generation, everyone's having their fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had fans who've been fans since the 60s. I've had fans who joined at the tail end of the classic series and new series fans, and everyone has found their own way into fandom. And everyone's story is broadly the same, but the details are all different, which is what I love.
Well, this is the problem I've got. I'm sorry. I'm gonna interrupt now. You see,
okay.
I asked Simon to ask me on his show. Basically, I want to.
Oh, you fool!
Basically, I thought to myself,
this now.
I would love to be on someone else's show, because with the Blade, I've got to put on this stupid, pompous Captain Manring style character, and I'd like to actually get a chance to just relax and be me and talk. And I think you sort of said something similar. It's nice to be somewhere else where you're not the actual one responsible. I'm not claiming I'm responsible on this either, but there's no responsibility claimed by any of us. So, we're down to 2 viewers again. We're up to 5.
No, I got 5 still.
Oh, okay. That's worrying.
Don't worry, the hot tubs will come later.
Oh no! Now I'm getting the mental images. So I'm Simon. Kindly, out of the blue, you could have knocked me down with a feather. Asked me on his show.
Yep. Shocking, wasn't it?
Dude, a bit of warning might have been useful, So I chose the 10th anniversary special. I haven't recorded the show yet, and I thought I'd better check with Simon. And then I saw that Gary Russell had chosen the 10th anniversary special, because of course he did. I thought, well, if Gary's going to do this, it's obviously going to be TV action countdown, etc. And all those polystyle.
That's exactly what I was expecting from Gary.
Yes. And so I was listening to it, and I was just getting more and more depressed, because I'm thinking, he's saying everything I sort of would say anyway. So I've got to come up with something else. So I'm going to check with you. Has anybody done either the Genesis of the Daleks LP from the 70s? Or
not yet.
Or the Daleks EP, that last episode of The Chase that was released by TV21?
No, definitely not that. So,
okay, good.
You're all right with either of those?
Okay, right. Sorry, that's just a weight off my mind now because I was a bit worried about that.
There we go. You've got something that is uniquely yours.
With the Eric
And I
Winston
don't
Orchestra.
think the guest I've got coming on tomorrow to record is
Siobhan.
going to choose either of those, so you're fine.
Oh, do you not know in
Siobhan
advance?
and Unique. Yeah. Yeah.
There can't be two of me. The universe would collide. I'm not sure with what, but my ego possibly. Okay. Well, that was interesting chat, wasn't it, everybody? By the way, just so you know, the guy who wants to be president again in your state is now saying how terrible it is that babies are being taken from their mothers in the 9th month. He's your ex-president. Don't look at us. You threw
don't
the
look
tea
at
in
me.
the
I
harbour.
didn't vote for
You
the
threw the
orange.
tea in the harbour. I've got no sympathy.
Hey, don't look at me. I didn't vote for the orange shit, Gibbon.
Sorry, it's just we weren't being political enough. We don't have Lilibet.
It's okay. She can't really be political.
This is why we call the Flashing Blade, because the lyrics of the theme tune are just perfect. For me, anyway. For what I see this show as. Right. Okay. What's your favourite item that has so far been deposited? And do you loan anything out?
My favourite, and it was really obscure, was a painting of Alice in Wonderland by Mary Macmillan, who was a fish person from the Underwater Menace, that is owned by my friend Si. Because all my friends are called Simon, obviously. Yeah, that is the most random and absolutely wonderful item.
I did know that
no
was
idea
whiplash.
coming.
That was what
Yeah.
the hell? These
I
little
know.
facts being put together to create this other fact that just doesn't make sense.
Yes. But Si had interviewed her at a convention, and they'd become good friends, and they wrote letters to each other until she died a couple of years ago, and her family said that Mary had wanted Si to have this painting when she passed away, and so he ended up with this, and he'd got this wonderful relationship with her. And it's just okay,
That's
just brilliant.
I think that's
But
amazing.
that's what these items lead on to. Little stories like this. These are the stories that need to be saved. Quite frankly.
Exactly, and this is what's coming out is all these little relationships that you have no idea sort of are going on sort of behind the scenes.
You're
that
just
are
lifting
really
the curtain a
important
little
to
bit on
people.
the threads. That's threads, Brian. I like that. I do like that. a
My
lot.
PTSD will hate you later.
But Gary Russell, in seriousness, is probably the ideal guest. He knows what's needed. He's incredibly personable, and
Yes.
yeah, love him to bits. Nicest man in fandom, quite frankly. You may have other views. Feel free to email us.
Yeah, and it was nice. We had a little chat before we recorded, and he said, I don't want to talk about all the things everyone asked me about, like what it's like to work on the show and working for Big Finish. Everyone knows that because I've talked about that. I want to talk about my life as a
Yeah.
Doctor Who fan.
That's one
And
reason
that's
I
the
want
thing.
to do your
No
show.
one- He said, no one ever asked me about the early days and how I got there.
I think it's because everybody's worried about coming across to a Doctor Who professional, as Gary is now, has been for
Yeah.
30 years,
Even though he
and coming
he
out
will
as
always
too
claim he is-
geeky and oh god, Mr. Russell, sir.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why there's as soon as you reach a certain stratum of fandom, people start to think, and it's imaginary, but people think there's a slight barrier. And they don't
Yeah.
want to be seen to be, oh, I'm not one of those geeks. You know, I'm really cool.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
couldn't give a damn about that. That's,
No, nor me, and I've never given a damn about that, to
I
be
used
honest.
to.
So,
I did used to, back when I was young.
even when I was young, even though I'd say I wasn't worried about it, I just got on with it.
Well, fandom is often built on who knows what and who can get as much prestige from letting people know what they know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, this is what we were talking about Ian Levine about yesterday, and saying that's what he's based his whole fan life on, is having a little bit of information that he can drip out at the right moment to cause maximum chaos, particularly in the 80s, you know, and that kind of carries on. And for some people, that's what it's about. It's that little tiny bit of one-upmanship that I know something you don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't
Yeah.
possibly tell you.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
a
just
bunch
our
of
fandom,
mental,
No. It's everywhere.
That's. I will admit, I have been victim to that when I was a lot younger. I've done some very hard work on myself, as you can tell.
Your surgeon would never tell.
I should hope not. That swamp's deep enough. What? Yeah. So I'm rather looking forward to this, because it's going to be. It's going to be nice to be interviewed.
Yeah,
Never
and
been
it's
interviewed.
nice just to chat to people and hear their stories, because, as I said, everyone is broadly the same, because we all fall in love with this silly show
Yeah.
for some reason, and it takes us to different places. Some people become sort of creative and want to sort of explore that. Other people become very focused on behind the scenes and wanting to know everything and all the facts. And it sort of inspires people in so many different ways. And what I always laugh about is everyone comes on and says, "Oh, well, I don't think I've got very much to say, and maybe after 10 minutes you might need to start asking me some questions." And then an hour later, they're deep into talking, and I don't have to say a thing because they're just going. So everyone knows the story of their own life.
Gary was script editing when he came on The Blade when we were a podcast. And
Yeah.
I think it was due to come on for an hour. I got 2 2-hour shows.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, man. That was. Oh, I love that man. Yeah. Brian,
Yeah.
I know you're not quite into Doctor Who quite as much as we are, but you still love it.
I'm into it. I just don't, I'm not.
And you know of things.
Yes, I don't obsess over the minutest of details.
So I was going to say, what would you take into the library?
What would
I'm sure this is not what a library's supposed to be. We take and give books to the library.
I would take something that I doubt many people would bring.
Okay.
Is it the Max Headroom mask? Was it you?
That was me, but no. I would bring a roll of bubble wrap.
Okay.
All right. Because the first episode I ever saw was Ark in Space. I was 4. And that damn
Wirren.
larva scared the hell out of me. And I was hooked ever since. So I to the point of, doing the hide behind the furniture type deal.
Working as intended.
Yep. And I've been hooked ever since. So that entire era, every time I see bubble wrap, it hits me.
Well, people laugh at it, but in context, it was a very new thing.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Now we look back at, that's bubble wrap, but back then.
Oh, high tech.
Back then, dear God, you could do anything.
So yeah, something I doubt anybody else has brought in, but it's a personal connection.
Perfect. That's what you want.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant. I do think that's brilliant, actually. That's nicely sideways. I like that, Bri. Yeah, man, well done.
Thank you.
Have a lolly. Yeah, look at his little face.
I'll just finish some of my drink.
I mean, let's just face facts. You're not going to get diabetic from me. Then again, I could be wrong. You going to die, or are you just going to keep us waiting?
Now the tears of my players are fighting back.
Good. Feel the pain. Oh, the RPG, folks, is back next Saturday.
Next Saturday is it's a command performance.
What?
Next Saturday.
Are
Saturday is,
you sure you're all right, my love?
I told you the tears are fighting back. They're gonna get me. No, next
you care to
Saturday
explain
is
what you
the
mean by
command
that?
performance.
What do you mean by that?
is well, it is a certain person's birthday next Saturday.
Yeah, but we don't care about you.
It's not me. Mine was last Tuesday.
Oh, come on, before. It's only one
Who
person.
would do a command performance for the RPG?
Yeah, that.
Think about it.
Yeah. Hi, Retta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Retta.
Yeah.
Happy pre-birthday.
Okay.
So, yes. It's a command performance. Be there, be square.
Yeah, man. Mute button. I love you. Shall we do what we came here for?
What did I thought we were?
Well, yes. Just one thing. Library of Impossible Things is available on all your podcast platforms, including
It is,
Spotify, which is what I'm listening to it on, which means that Simon probably doesn't get a single bloody penny at all.
No, but that's not why I'm doing it, so it's fine.
Exactly. We want this.
Oh dear.
You know what's going to happen.
We're all
And
gonna
now,
talk.
from the worlds of BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's Doctor Who. Probably. When you watch this back, Simon, you're going to love that piece of music. It's at about the 40-minute mark. The ninth Doctor Who, we think, we're not sure. Curse you, Chibnall. And his plucky girl assistant Emma are in Vortex. Unfortunately, the Master is watching them and gloating, and has left the microphone on. And
That happens.
It does.
Let's face it. It
It's
happens to
unfortunate.
us. It can happen to him.
I mean, face facts. He basically made a cloak call. That's all it was. And anyway, the Doctor wants to tell him, look, I've got some news for you, Beardface. Come to the planet Tercerus, because nothing bad ever happened there. And I'll tell you about it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Doctor Who and the Curse of Fatal Death. It's a ninth Doctor story. I don't care.
Well, there are about 9 different Ninth Doctors, so
Yes.
absolutely,
Exactly.
he's better than some.
Oh dear. You're giving me that look, Brian.
I'm fine with it. I'm just thinking if I'm going to give my review in the language of the Tertians.
Oh, I changed the habit of a lifetime. You've always talked out your ass.
Well, you know, it's an entire race that talks out of their ass.
Thank God you don't smoke. So, context? Context, Brian? Context? Would you like some context? Of the Curse of Fatal Death?
Yeah, I don't think it really needs any context.
Oh, it does.
It's,
It does, because there's nice little stories around it.
it's a cute little funny story set done for charity.
Yeah, but there are links. It's enjoy the colour of it and its surroundings.
Yes, it's a cute little story.
I'm not going to get through, I don't think. Ah, dear. You're not getting through,
I-
Doctor. You're not getting through.
You've left the mic on.
Yeah, man. No, it's done for comic relief.
Yeah.
Look, you know this. I don't know if anybody's watching, but they might not know this.
I don't know if anybody is old enough to remember comic relief.
Sweetheart, we have it every couple of years.
No. In America, HBO used to do comic relief throughout the 80s. It was hosted by Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, and Robin Williams.
Hoopai Goldberg.
They stopped it, I think, right around the time of this this whole skit. It was a big thing for a couple years. It was great. Tune in. You see Robin Williams going nuts. What's not to enjoy? It was kind of like Live Aid.
Sweetheart, we invented comic relief.
That's fine.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying in America, this is what happened to to comic relief.
I think
It's still going on in England. That's perfectly cool. That's awesome. Terrific. Helps a lot of people. For us, it kind of ended in the 90s.
So much did, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm depressed now.
You'll fit right into the 90s.
But there's lots of little links. Like, for example, it was the first television script for Doctor Who by Stephen Moffat. And you can see his naughtiness getting an airing from the start. I've always said that The Curse of Fatal Death is Moffat's love letter to Doctor Who that he could get away with at the time. Remember, the show wasn't on the air. And this is probably going to be the only grasp of it he was going to get. So he chucked it in. He had fun, but he made it a bit heartfelt. It wasn't laughing so much at the show as with the show. The affection was obviously there, unlike something like Dimensions in Time, which was just laughable. Sorry, but there we go. So, and then a little later on, he got to do The Day of the Doctor, which I thought, well, that's his love letter to the show. You know, it's all coming out there. And then he wrote the Day of the Doctor novelisation, and it's a case of, yeah, okay, they've let him unleashed. This is the real deal. Because I love that novelisation. It is up there, Doctor and the Daleks for me. It really is. High praise indeed. So, yeah. So, Brian?
Yeah.
You did say you wanted Ninth Doctor stuff. What did you make of this?
Like I said, it was funny. It was cute. It did all the hallmarks, and it pulled in all the required, changes and people. Also, it had the very first female Doctor.
It didn't.
He morphed into Joanna Lumley.
Yeah, Annabelle Weir had already got there.
Oh, okay.
That's Big Finish.
That's your
I
fandom
love doing
showing.
this. I love doing this.
That's your fandom showing.
Yeah, man. Damn straight it is. She played an alcoholic.
No.
Doctor.
It's what happened. Plus, it had, the High Sparrow.
Yes, and he's etheric beam locators.
And he did a really good job.
Oh, he chewed the scenery brilliantly.
He ate that scenery with a chainsaw.
I mean, quite frankly, if they'd have brought him back as the Master in the Brit series proper, I'd have loved it.
Yeah.
Just tone it down slightly, but he was obviously channeling his inner Delgado.
Oh, why tone it down? At that point in the 90s, there was no toning down.
No, I'm saying for the new series.
If
they'd have brought him back a bit, he couldn't have lasted.
Well,
long.
they'd have to have him regenerate again.
Oh.
And this time not from a snake. But, yeah. No, it's a fantastic little episode. It's hilarious. It's short enough that it doesn't go on too long. It's good up.
It was shown in 4 parts, I think.
I believe it.
Yeah.
On the original, on the
Yeah.
original thing, and then
Yeah, they probably did one part, did a little bit of the whole comic relief stage.
Yeah,
the other
get
part,
some money. Yeah.
yeah.
it's basically a way of keeping people tuned in.
Yeah.
And that sort of cynicism for a charity, I'm fine with.
Well, that's the kind of thing you need for a telethon.
Exactly. Well, you must remember the old PBS telethons.
Oh, I love those. Those were awesome. Give us money, please.
Any particular favourites?
They did one during a bunch of Tom Baker's run when I was little. Because after Tom Baker, I stopped watching. I didn't like the new guy. Sorry, Mr. Davidson.
My original plucky girl assistant, Joe, will probably be having words with you.
I was like 5 or 6, so Oh well.
Long-term viewers of The Flashing Blade will know why I'm laughing at that joke. Simon? Did you get to see it? Did you get to see it on the night?
Oh, I watched it on the night with other Doctor Who fans who came round my house, and we watched and laughed and laughed and laughed.
Were you worried
I loved
beforehand?
A little, because there's always that thing. I kind of knew Stephen Moffat a tiny bit from when he would turn up at the tavern, which was a big group of Doctor Who fans getting together back in the 90s. And he always seemed like he was always slightly, again, like we were saying earlier, one of those fans who was just a bit too cool to admit that he just genuinely loved the show. And so there was that little worry that he was just going to come in and take the piss. And I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't necessarily a serious story. It was a story, and it wasn't just a series of jokes about running up corridors and screaming. Although we got all of those,
we got some excellent corridor running, I thought.
But we got some excellent corridor acting and things like that, and it was far more affectionate, I think. I know some of my friends thought, well, he's just he has actually just taken the piss because he's used up all the Doctor's regenerations, and they were worrying about this.
Oh, I know. It's like, people aren't going to worry about this.
No, and it's not worth worrying about. And he said, well, it's just, the BBC don't want the show, so they're using up all... Yeah, no, it's fine.
Well, we were so paranoid back then.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
starting to happen
Everything
again
was a
now.
Conspiracy.
It's starting to happen again now with the show.
A producer who was out to kill the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, because that's what everyone does. So,
yeah.
But what surprised me watching it this time was how we went from a ninth Doctor who's fallen in love with his companion, so to a 10th Doctor who's very image conscious and cool.
Yes, and lick the mirror handsome.
Yep. To an 11th Doctor who's a bit shy around girls suddenly, and
might look good in the bow tie. To be honest, I thought Jim Broadbent suits one. I feel. Yeah.
And to a 12th Doctor who actually turns out to be quite cool.
Yeah. He's grumpy at the start. He's moaning about his regeneration. Look at that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly, but actually he comes played by a very experienced actor.
Yes.
Noted for quite serious but early comedy roles and things like to a female Doctor. So, oh my God, there's Stephen Moffat coming from the future. To
Dimensions in Time did that. Dimensions in Time killed off Arthur Fowler.
Yeah, exactly. So
Doctor Who is so prescient.
Actually, I like how that went though. You went. Stephen Moffat basically planned out every regeneration in that episode,
and then they did it,
and including Jodie, and they stuck to the plan.
It's amazing, really. It's like our plan for Order 1766. That'll be coming to fruition at some stage.
Yeah, well, Archie has about 32 years to get there.
Well, yeah, but he'll get there, and then Britain will take back you wretched. Look, I don't have a problem with you being independent. I want you to suffer for what you did to the tea.
That's not even it. It's our recent choices have negated us from being able to make any choices in the future.
Your recent choices have made us double think again about our plan, to be honest.
Yeah. It's I'm not saying, America is teetering, but we're definitely tilting.
If we can look out of the look away from the void, I think you can as well.
I'm hoping.
It would be nice.
I mean, 2 inches. All it took was 2 inches to the left.
That would have done no good whatsoever. It would have made things a lot worse.
Okay.
At least both Democrats and Republicans were united in one thing: their hatred of that man.
Yeah, that is true. When your entire cabinet comes out and says, no, this guy should not be elected.
I was talking about the would-be assassin, but okay.
Oh, well, hey, there were two guys to hate on that in play there.
Oh, I think there were more. Anyway, we can't really, like you were saying, Brian, we can't really do anything too much about the Curse of Fatal Death.
No.
Because there's nothing deep in it. There's no.
It's not supposed to be deep.
It is a love letter.
Yeah,
Plain and
not
simple.
everything needs to be deep.
It's
And it's playing on how people remember Doctor Who being.
very much so.
You know?
Yes.
And he even recycles the joke about why have you got a chair in a Dalek spaceship
Yes.
in the series itself later on. Because it is ridiculous and it is silly.
I love that line. I hope you appreciate it. It took a lot of trouble to find. What? The only other chair on Skaro.
Yep.
And people don't like that era. What? Oh, God. Oh, man. Sorry. I never used to have a favourite Doctor. If you'd asked me, I'd cop out and say, oh, the one I'm currently watching. And then Capaldi turned up. And suddenly, at my age, I suddenly had a favourite Doctor. It's so strange. It really is. And I think it's because he was older than me. When I was growing up, the Doctor was always older than me. And then when he came back, he was younger than me. And now... And I think that had something to do with it. Plus the fact he had excellent writing and what an actor. Dear God, what an actor. Do wish he'd come and do Big Finish, but he doesn't want to.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Give him time.
We need to bankrupt him somehow. Moving on. Moving on. Tell you what, we're going to switch the order. We're going to do the Tomorrow People now.
Oh, dear God.
Okay.
Which Tomorrow People would you like to do?
Well, if you go back and watch the last show, you'll have heard Brian say the next show we're watching is Worlds Away. So, Brian,
Yeah.
which show did you watch? Yes.
While I did not watch Worlds Away, I watched the next one after that.
Which is called, Brian? Which is called?
A Man for Emily, which
Yeah.
I really think is a dig at Americans.
I just think you like the blue underwear.
No,
All right, it's got to be the curly.
it's
It's got to be the curly wig.
it's the wig. It's the wig. No, hey, if you want to talk about Worlds Away, I'm here to talk about Worlds Away.
Okay, we shall do that as long as you. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to re-watch this now for the next week, for the next show.
No, I won't.
I'm just saying, just so the memory.
I'll watch.
Fresh.
I'll watch Worlds Away for the next show, but you cannot pay me enough to watch A Man for Emily
But we,
again.
but we need the wounds to be fresh for
No,
when you speak.
no.
You're no
Disco
fun.
close. No. No.
Seriously, you should hear the DVD commentary. It's
It's amazing.
It's the
It-
tomorrow.
oh,
it's the cast plus Davison, and they just lay into him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. I might actually watch that. No, not tonight. No, I don't think I can handle that tonight. Not after Hooverville. Simon, you're the guest. What do you make of this? Come on then.
A Man for Emily.
No. Worlds
Is-
Away. Worlds Away.
Oh, Worlds Away. Right. Okay. You'll have to remind me which one Worlds Away is. Can you give me
Strangely,
a
I
quick
had to do the
crazy-
same thing from Brian not 1 hour ago.
Okay.
Timus turns up for the first time, and
Yep.
they've got to go to a pyramid, and there's a machine in there that's derelict.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then they go to a planet where the machine's working. They've got no special powers. Sutek turns up, does something rather odd, and turns out to be Tikno, Timus's dear, close clone brother. Apparently, they're all very dear and close to each other.
Well, they're clone brothers.
And the Tomorrow People are there to turn off this machine and let other the Vesh, I think they were called, who were essentially the Tomorrow People of their species, develop naturally. Unfortunately, I was going to say the Kleptons, but that's something else. Can't remember what they're called. The naughty people have got a Vesh smeller pursuivant, and he goes around. It's essentially Burn the Witch. I liked him.
Burn the witch, put her in the pyramid, and beam her up to the space station.
Yeah, I liked him. He dressed like the Master in The Demons. Every time he left of the cell, I just had to yell out "Weakling scum." It's not the same
I can
actor,
see
but
that.
it was just it's got the same energy. I really enjoyed it. It was daft. The second episode is a bit weak. It's a bit of a run around in the grass. But the first and second and third episodes, they're good. And it doesn't outstay its welcome, quite frankly.
Oh yeah. It hits all my buttons for the whole Ancient Aliens thing.
Oh yes, you're one of those.
Oh
ladies.
yeah, it's very mid-70s sci-fi, isn't it? Everyone was doing this kind of thing.
It is definitely Time Life magazine Ancient Alien type stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Doctor Who
It was
did didn't
fantastic.
Doctor Who did it with the Exxilons.
Oh yeah,
And
Doctor Who
around
did it
about the same time.
not only with the Excellence but also with the Demons.
Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well done.
No problem.
Second volley for Brian tonight.
It's one of my favorite episodes. That and Inferno. Fantastic episodes. But yeah, tomorrow basically they went to Egypt, and in a secret room in the Great Pyramid, there's this device that has since been disabled. But when it was enabled, it was pretty much a psionic blocker. It stopped people that were developing telepathy and everything from developing. This planet took it a step further, and the big bad evil race has since long been died out.
Listen, Brian, that's a mouthful. Just call them the naughty people.
Big bad evil race has long since been died out, but their technology still works. So this place and the society they instituted is still in place, where they hunt the Vesh, and Vesh detectors or witch hunters in this case.
Which Swevens. That's what we call them.
They find the Nansa Tomorrow People, and they burn them at the stake. During the burning, they get teleported up to the space station and placed in stasis.
Why though, Brian? Why?
Because the big bad alien race is pretty hungry for psionics. Apparently, they taste good.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, they're like mind flayers, folks. So that's the entire premise of it. The bigger thing is that the Galactic Council cannot operate on this planet.
Why is this?
Because they're not a member.
No.
Yes.
No. No.
One of those standards.
No. No, they can't, because the Vesh were already in existence on the planet, and then the naughty people turned up and built their pyramid, and over the millennia had turned the ordinary members of their species against them and convinced them they were witches, and because they were the naughty people were deemed to be gods, essentially.
Well, they also looked like Anubis too.
Well, I was going to say, I said Sutek actually, and I probably
You
was
said
wrong.
Sutek. They're Anubis.
No, you're right. You are right. I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the only one of those you're getting tonight. And
I got a lolly and a you're right.
you got two lollies. You got two lollies tonight.
I'm thrilled. This is be still my heart.
Oh,
Actually, hang on.
please be still.
Okay, I'm better.
Oh God. So, by the way, nobody's replied to your poll.
I know. That's so sad.
I told you.
That's only because nobody was watching.
I told you. Rhett has buggered off by now.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
minute we start into
Actually talk about anything. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so they could legally do something, but because none of them now that they've been an advanced, various species have been advanced for so long, they've forgotten how to operate without powers, and so they have to use the Tomorrow people who have only just.
in essence, humans are dumb and they need us for our dumbness.
Yes, essentially.
This has been shown in many, many other science fiction things like SG-1.
We are
They
the, we
needed
are the
humans
meat shield.
because we're stupid.
We're the meat shield of the universe.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
We've got the potential to learn.
Yeah.
We're like
what
space
What
orcs.
happened to that? So
We've still got the potential.
We still have the potential. It's just we don't have the funding.
just go and read Twitter. That'll
No,
disabuse you of this illusion.
no, because if I do, I'm just going to put down it's weird and get banned.
This, like I say, the second episode is a bit of a runaround, which is a shame because the building up in the first episode's good. The denouement is good, if a little bit. We're on the planet CSO and we've forgotten to key in the background.
Yeah.
And they've obviously decided to film in somebody's slightly overgrown garden. But it's good. And Taizo gets to do everything.
That's good because we don't know who the hell he is.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
it's great. And just to rub it in, Kenny gets mentioned. Kenny, who did nothing at all.
Poor Kenny.
I believe it was because he was just too young. They couldn't use they just didn't have the hours to film with him because of the law.
Okay.
But there we go. But like I say, Taizo can do everything. He's super Taizo.
Yeah. Is this the one where he does the astral projection?
Yep. To Attack of the Alien Minds by Brian Hodgson, I think. Sorry, I have no life.
I know. I know.
Yeah. You will notice, however, the life that Taizo leads, and the fact that he's not a criminal.
No.
No.
He's not
Compare
like
the
Mike.
life exactly. Compare the life Taizo leads to the life Mike leads. That, I think, is a flaw of character rather than circumstance.
I told you before, the show goes to hell once Mike shows up.
I did say that I was going to watch the last one because I stopped watching at the end of this season. Because this is
Okay.
Well, I've watched it on the original transmission because I am that old. But when we were doing the run through a couple of years ago, I just couldn't do it because I knew what was going to happen and I didn't want my memories to be ruined. So, but I did say I'd do it this time round.
Yeah.
There are some real highs to come still, even once Mike's in the show. And I think the very strongest Tomorrow People story is The Dirtiest Business.
Oh, that is a damn good one.
That is a really good one.
Absolutely unexpectedly incredible piece of the Tomorrow People. When you think the show is basically on powering down to an ignominious end, it comes with this really strong, haunting, brilliantly written story that comes out of nowhere. And I remember doing my original run through because I was a bit too young to see it on original broadcast. So coming at it from the coming at it from the TV, it was that just knocked me away coming after the very, very long and very boring show where they're in the spaceship going through the tunnel forever. and ever.
Yeah.
I mean, Sapphire and Steel made padding an art form. But this,
Yes, that,
it's just going to go round in a circle, and nothing's going
and
to
then we're
happen.
going to stop. Yep. So I was expecting nothing when it came back, and then suddenly it comes back with this 2-part story that is downbeat. We're not talking about Worlds Away very much here, but that.
Welcome to the Flashing Blade.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
don't worry, we're used to it.
Right now.
We do this.
So, and that was just wow. And that's why I think I like that episode so much to this day, because I just was so not expecting anything like that from the Tomorrow People at that stage. I've watched the Blue and the Green and thought, well, they're never ever going to.
I actually think the Revenge of Jedekiah is better than the Blue and the Green.
I think that entire season is good. That
Yeah.
Blue and the Green, Rift in Time, Revenge of Jedediah.
2 seasons.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm being a pedant. I'm sorry.
pedantic.
Yeah. But I
But
know
I
that
think-
if anybody bothered to watch this, they'd pick us up, so I'm getting in ahead.
But I think those two are
Always a good
very
idea.
good. They're like the best.
Mhm.
Blue and the Green and Rift in Time are by far my favorites. However, I will give Mike his one due. He could summon the devil,
Oh, he could.
and it's coming,
Okay? It is.
and you're gonna watch it.
So's Hitler's brain.
Oh, they saved Hitler. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
man.
boy.
Let's do this.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, we'll turn that into a Michael Shear.
Bubble suits are coming.
Oh, I love those. Those jumpsuits freak me out. It was fantastic. I actually thought, upon recognizing it later, that it was like a precursor to Venom. Because
Yeah,
the black
oh, yeah.
suit debuted right around this time that it was being shown in America, around '85. It was on the Nickelodeon channel over here. And
It debuted on
when the
Secret Wars,
jumpsuits
didn't
came
it?
around, I'm like, okay. And then Secret Wars, the comic book where Venom debuted, Secret Wars #8, had Spider-Man in a whole new costume that
He killed Spider-Man.
I did. That did everything the jumpsuits did. So
Mhm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was cool.
Sorry, we did a Marvel RPG. You bastard.
Okay.
You utter bastard.
You killed Spider-Man?
We did a Marvel RPG. I killed a lot of people. I killed Spider-Man for effect in front of them.
Yeah.
I killed most of the Fantastic Four. I
My
sent
favourite team.
Grim to hell.
My favourite character.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
what else
you're
did you
welcome.
do which was really horrible, Brian?
Oh, I had you guys being all good and proper working for the bad guys. You caused it all. Everything.
And personally, and I have told this story before, but it bears telling again. Brian, because he's trying to be a complete GM, or so I thought, says to me, well, your nobility, have you got a staff?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I imagine I have got a staff, back at the mansion.
No, you kept bringing up your staff.
Oh, I
You
got
wanted
to
a
it.
staff.
Well, I was playing
You
Lady,
kept bugging me for a
I
staff.
was playing Lady Mummerset. So it's yeah. And
Yeah, you're bugging me for a staff, so I'm like, okay, write up a staff.
which I wasn't expecting, so I ended up giving him character descriptions from upstairs, downstairs. And
They were good. They were
worked long and
butlering
hard
and,
into that.
assistants and everything.
Yep. Very next game session, he slaughtered them.
No, I didn't slaughter them.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, what did you do?
No.
to them?
I did something much worse to
Oh,
them.
good.
The entire premise was on the opposite side of the mirror.
Yes.
There's this entire alternate dimension.
Yes.
It's basically a hell world.
Oh.
And so I had something from that side of the mirror come into this side of the mirror and pull her staff in there, and then I slaughtered them. Only
There we go.
everything was beautiful in here. It was perfect. She gets home, The place looks nice. It's nice and clean. Nobody's around. Walking through the house, it's really empty. And then out of the corner of her eye, she sees a splash of red reflected in the mirror.
Oh.
And she looks, and the room is reflected as a crime, basically a slaughter scene out of a slasher movie. Handprints and blood everywhere, splatters, body parts, corpses. Turns around, there's nothing behind her. Is she going insane?
Mm-hmm.
You are a twisted, sad, broken little person, aren't you?
I had been waiting decades to play that entire adventure.
Oh man, I miss playing Captain Marmoset. We're gonna have to get back to that at some stage.
It's not on Foundry, so
In
we'll
that
have to
case-
figure something else.
I'll just create a character. I'm probably about to start a live role RPG up at the Grid Serve Hub, where we do the gaming evening.
Go for it.
And I might. I think they're gonna go D&D. And I know, but it's the one everybody's familiar with. Well, I'm not, because I can never remember how things work. But I'll see if I can make a character that's Captain Marmoset.
Tell them to play Eminem, or Savage Worlds, or hell, the superhero game we played is basically free now.
Well, to be fair, this is the first one, and someone has volunteered to DM it.
Oh, well, okay, go for it.
So, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played in a room with people for ages. I had to dig out my dice. God almighty, that's
a whole nother addiction.
Oh, well, yeah, the trouble was, because before we had the rolling device on the computer, I had to roll dice on the table. They kept flying off everywhere. It's just... Sorry,
they make actual metal dice, right?
Yeah, right, good.
Solid metal.
How's that going to help me?
I'm just saying they make a good clack when you roll them.
I like a good clack, I have to admit. But I prefer a clack.
Yeah, good clacks are good. Plus, if you're aiming at the models, you can really take them out.
I'd get into trouble.
Says who?
I mean, face facts. These people have never RPG'd with me before.
Yeah, no toes and no thumbs and no
Remember?
ears.
Keith Dunn used to RPG with myself and Adam, and he's got no hair now. Just saying. So anyway, that was
And
the
I'm
Tomorrow
just telling
People.
you, no thumbs, no toes, and no ears. These are newbies. Work them in slow.
I like to collect body parts. It's all down to your influence. I can't take any credit. Anyway, that was the Tomorrow People. Probably. We're not sure.
Somewhere in there.
Do we care?
Yes.
We do?
Yeah, we care about everything we put out for these people. We put our best out for them. Granted, that best is riddled with ADHD and non sequiturs and tangents, but we care.
I haven't explained this show to you properly, have I? Yeah. Simon, did you get a chance to listen to the Big Finish I sent you?
I did. I did my homework.
You see? Have a lolly.
New boy
Thank you
gets
very
the
much.
homework. Gold star.
No, he gets a lolly. He's only one lolly behind you.
Mhm.
Drinking your tears of
Okay.
your players.
You think it's water?
It's new person story time again.
Oh God.
And yes, it's another story about you. It's not the one where you thought that. See what I mean about my memory?
I'm thankful about it this time.
Yeah, you know exactly which film I'm talking about, but you're not going to say. It was the found footage one in the woods. Which
That
is
could
very,
be a
very-
lot of them these days.
Which is it was the first of the genre, and it was very, very scary. You thought it was real.
It had a magnificent marketing campaign.
Oh, fair enough. But anyway, that's not the story I'm going to tell you.
Of course not.
You've seen The Prisoner, haven't you, Simon?
I have, yes.
We reviewed the
Alcohol
prisoner.
poisoning.
Yeah, we hurt him. We got to the penultimate show. We got to the end of the penultimate show, and I said, "Listen, we're going to do a live reaction to the last episode of The Prisoner because Brian hadn't seen it." And
Okay.
great, wonderful. I said, "Brian, do you fancy playing?"
They
The
made
Prisoner?"
it a drinking game.
Yeah. Every time somebody says "I," all you've got to do is take a drink.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
I.
Brian, I'm so...
I'm about to say something that I have never said before. I ran out of alcohol.
I'm not surprised.
That was so funny. And of course, I mean, I think it might have made more sense the way you were doing it, to be fair. I'm going to be honest. Excellent. Would you like to introduce us to Doctor Who and the Death World, please? Simon. Because he doesn't listen to them.
Okay, so Doctor Who and the Death World is purportedly the original version of the story that became the Three Doctors. So Bob Baker and Dave Martin are commissioned to write a 10th anniversary special, and so they go all out and pit the Doctor, or basically the Doctors are the pawns in the game that the President of the Time Lords is playing against Death. So it's a grand
Your
game
actual
of chess.
death.
Yeah. And the Doctors are the champions that are chosen by the President of the Time Lords. Only the President can get round it slightly by having 3, because there are 3 Doctor Who's in existence at this time. So basically, they are sent off into an experiment in the Doctor's laboratory. So it starts with the Pertwee Doctor. Experiment goes wrong, and the Doctor and Jo are killed.
In fact, Unit HQ
they
is
disappear.
destroyed, isn't it?
Unit HQ is destroyed, and every member of Unit who is there becomes a zombie.
The Brigadier.
And it goes from there.
The Brigadier isn't a zombie. He's
No,
not
the
sure what's
Brigadier
going on.
survived.
And he runs
Yep.
into the
Very
Second Doctor.
confused.
Second
Yes.
Doctor and Jamie. And they get caught up by zombies because, of course, you do. And well, the Brigadier still survives, and he manages to get towards the Doctor's lab, hits the space-time telegraph that the Doctor's just given him. Nice touch, I thought.
Lucky.
And summons the Hartnell Doctor. Neither of which, of course, recognise each other.
Nope.
And like you say, it goes from there. 3
Yes.
dead Doctors and their companions. What do you think?
I have to admit, I haven't listened to a Big Finish in quite some time, so I haven't dipped in for a little while. So this was well, that's not exactly true. I always forget. I listened to the wretched Once and Future series last year, where I thought that would be a good place to come back to Big Finish, and was not a good place to come back to Big Finish at all.
It had
And
its
that-
moments.
It did, but then they were generally wiped out of existence shortly afterwards in the storytelling, so that's fine. So I went in a bit nervous, particularly as I only heard Tim Trelaw's Third Doctor a few times, and I saw him at a convention earlier this year, and think he's very good, and he'll be interesting. But I haven't heard the other 2 Doctors do very much so far, other than their tiny cameos in the Once and Future series. So far we've got this, and we've got John Coleshaw playing the Brigadier, and we haven't got very much that was actually from the time. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through. So I was going in with small expectations and enjoyed it a lot more. Although I don't understand why the First Doctor is so furious about everything. Every line, he is really angry. So that's a performance choice.
I think I know, but I'm not saying here.
Okay, fair enough.
Stephen Noonan's a mate, and because
Oh, okay.
I also
Fair
play Hartnell in some stuff.
Yep. I've heard your Hartnell.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
so sorry. I've retired now. You'll be pleased to know.
Uh-huh.
And so we've talked about it quite a lot. We don't talk
Yeah,
about
of
it
course,
at all
yeah.
now. But it was so lovely to be able to talk to somebody about something I've been doing for donkey's years, and somebody else I'd reached out to who did it never got. You just couldn't contact them, and so Stephen comes along, and we met him at Big Finish Day eventually, and yeah, good mate. We speak practically every week on the phone, which reminds me.
It's very good, I think. Yeah.
Reminds me, the Library of Impossible Things on the piano, is that Jess Jurovic?
It is, yeah. There we go.
Noonan, I've got to get this the right way around. Noonan sometimes noodles City of Death on the piano.
Ah, right, okay.
That's what reminded me. That's how my mind works now. Ping, ping, ping.
Series of connections,
Yeah.
all over the place.
Oh, dear God. But it was funny talking to people yesterday up at Hooverville. The amount of people now who are having memory trouble and whatever. It's age. That's all it is. We're all getting on a bit now, you know? But it did actually reassure me a little bit. It's not just me.
No, and that's always good.
That way you know, well, I'm probably not coming down with something or what have you. This is a natural course of events. That went strange. What did you think of Death?
Death was okay, but strangely unthreatening.
Thank you. He didn't sound like a classic Death. He did not sound like
No,
he was talking in
and-
capital letters.
No. So it was, it was a fairly refreshing change, but he seems sort of quite suave and
Exactly. And I thought to myself,
yeah,
that's
which
not
I
Death.
wasn't expecting at all.
I was thinking the classical Death, you know. I mean, essentially, it's based on that, on the film whose director escapes me, but you know the one.
I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. They basically riff on it at the Star Genesis of the Daleks, and I like a good classic Death, and you can see why Stephen Thorne ended up in what would have been the Death role.
Because it could, it'd be a shouty, big performance.
I
And this
thought
was
that
sort
let
of
it down
quite
slightly.
down.
I did think it let it down slightly. It needed to be a bit more stagey. Sometimes I think they forget the period they're representing, and it gets a bit too modern.
Yeah, and exactly. It wouldn't have been played that way
No,
in 1972, 73.
But this doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I really enjoyed it.
No.
That's my only gripe, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was, as I said, really enjoyable to listen to. I got sort of caught up in it, and there are sort of bits of each era that are referenced quite nicely, and so the continuity is right. And I loved Jamie and the Second Doctor not recognising the Brigadier, but he recognised them. That was
a nice
really
touch.
nicely done.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was sort of quite clever and interesting. So you get to build that relationship and see it slightly differently from the Brigadier's point of view, rather than the Doctor and Jamie experiencing it, meeting him for the first time. So that's really good. So you sort of then get an immediate sense of where they are in their time zones, and their era.
Season
sort of before
5,
that.
isn't
So
it?
yeah. And there's a bit of flirtation between Jamie and Joe, obviously, because
Not as much as they
Jamie-
made out in previews and what have you.
No. I think they said a lot more than was actually sort of delivered. So they didn't have a lot of scenes together until the final episode, where the companions are suddenly paired up together. And I thought the mix of the Brigadier and the First Doctor was really good as well. And that was,
And they did mention Brett Vile.
they did, yes, which they wouldn't have done
No way in hell.
at that
no,
time.
they
So,
wouldn't have
no,
done.
that's a very Fanish in joke, and
It was
stuff,
appreciated.
but
I'll be honest.
yeah.
This is another one of those jokes we were talking about with Curse of Fatal Death, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's written by fans for fans, then you
Exactly.
can throw that kind of thing in, and it's fine. And See, I really like John Coleshaw as the Brigadier. I've heard him
Isn't
do
he
that
superb?
impression on the talkie books and things, and that's really nice. And actually, after a little while, your ear sort of gets what he's doing, and you just forget that it's not Nicholas Courtney.
Again,
I think
would-
you want to believe that it's him.
I would recommend getting Terror of the Master.
Okay.
Big Finish, which is an audiobook narrated by Culshaw, set in the Third Doctor era. So you've got him playing the Brig, you've got him playing Pertwee, you've got him playing Delgado.
His Pertwee is very good.
And frankly, it's a triumph. It's
Uh-huh.
a tour de force performance, and it's just reading a book, essentially, and
Yeah.
it's it's amazing, absolutely amazing. One thing, and I'm going to say this to the sound editors at Cardiff as well as Big Finish, get in touch with me to arrange to make sure that you have the correct TARDIS noises at the correct time.
Yes. Hmm.
Thank you.
Because that could have really delineated which TARDIS they were in a lot
Yes.
clearer than they did.
Yep. Nope. They.
Those things
Isn't it
fans
funny?
will really pick up on.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bang, you're straight out of it. That's the wrong noise. And it's,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you, Siobhan? You know?
But it's true.
I'm
it's-
not a professional, but I'm just gonna say a lot.
Mhm.
I can't argue that. I'm going to be honest. I can't.
Don't worry, you're in good company of the undiagnosed. What the hell is up with you? So
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'll take that. It's quite good. I played the Fool on our normal RPG as well, which
you don't have to. That's the thing.
yeah, I do, because I'm not very good at RPGing.
I'm just saying
Coming
your
up with
character
plans.
doesn't have to.
I enjoy it.
Okay.
It's fun.
She
Plus-
plays a dragon.
Okay.
What could possibly go wrong? What was that? A really bad Sean Connery impersonation?
Who changes into Lala Ward.
Who
Well, of
wouldn't?
course.
Who wouldn't?
Why wouldn't you?
It was supposed to be from Sharda, but no, he couldn't get a picture of Sharda, so he went for Destiny of the Daleks, which is lucky because I got that costume. Anyway, moving on. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. And
Yeah, it was
thanks
fun.
for-
It was a really nice thing to
thanks
sort
for
of
the
dip back
setting,
into.
saying you hadn't been there for a while
No. Hmm.
and come to this. Yeah, no, that's a nice thing to. We're a very positive podcast, to be fair. So
Yeah. Hmm. There was a lot
Except when
to
it comes to
enjoy in-
Rose.
yeah, we don't like Rose.
Everyone has
Bitch.
their blind spot. It's
Rose
fine.
pisses us off.
I mean, props to Billy Piper, but
Oh yeah, it's not Billy, it's Rose.
yeah. What does props mean? Oh, props to some and such.
Exactly.
Good. So that's clear. Yeah. What are you doing in the next 2 weeks, Brian? Tell me
running
now.
A game next weekend.
Are you?
Yeah,
Can I play?
you better. I'll send Reddit to get you.
Do you know, that's going to actually be more interesting than you think.
I
I'm
can
just
imagine.
saying. Yep.
No, I'm running our bi-weekly RPG over on Thaco.
Simon,
Thaco Gaming on Twitch and on YouTube.
Simon, we've said where we can find Into the Library of Impossible Things. That
Yeah.
almost came out as the Impossible of Library Things.
Mhm.
Who have you got coming up? Can you say who you've got coming up and when?
Who have I got coming up? So, this weekend I've just released an episode with a lovely guy called James Lark, who's a musician who was inspired to become a musician by listening to 80s Doctor Who music, which is a brilliant story.
When did you? Right. Okay, I'm gonna have to double check the feed. I may have missed that one.
That came out yesterday.
Oh, that's
so,
probably why. Yeah,
so
I haven't
it's
looked at the
very
feed.
new. So So yes, last week I had a writer and journalist and Doctor Who magazine writer called Paul Kirkley come along,
Oh, yes.
which was lovely. So he's a lovely fan of the podcast, so he volunteered himself.
This is a bit like
come-
Toby
come in.
Haydock's Happy Times and Places, where
Yeah,
a
basically.
different person every story to give their thoughts on it.
Yes.
It's no, I told you, I love this. I think the idea behind it is exactly what we need. So
Yes.
happy.
And this week I've got a new series fan coming who found the series in 2005 and coming to tell her story. So that will be really interesting.
That's cool.
Would it be petty of me to hate her for being so young?
No, I don't
Okay,
think
good.
so.
Look,
And
I look
hopefully
forward
we
to
will
it.
arrange to come and do yours.
Yes, I would enjoy it. Like I say, it'll make a big change from the Blade, and no offence in that respect. It's just I'll be in a different position. Stop it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Good. Right. Fine.
Yeah.
Good.
No, this is fine.
Okay. Good. I'm
This
pleased.
is fine. We're fine.
Who pays your wages?
No one. I don't get paid for this.
I know, and yet you still turn up.
Why? I don't know, but I do.
It's just.
If I
not
got
cool.
paid any money, we'd be talking a lot more.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. What was I going to say? Oh yes. What am I up to over the next? Nothing. A blissful nothing over the next 2 weeks. It's going to
She's
be
going to be bouncing off the walls in 5 minutes.
no, because on the 6th of September I should, with luck, get the new 40th anniversary deluxe edition of Ultravox's Lament. Which
So it's a something within the next 2 weeks.
well, yes, but this is going to fill the void with an awful lot of excellent music that nobody else likes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I love my Ultravox. I'm sorry, can't help it. It's funny how you get these little obsessions. Oh, I love that band. Oh, I love that program. Oh, I love that book series. It's like the Rivers of London book series. It's superb. Absolutely
Fabulous.
adore it. Brilliant. Right then, that is us. Oh, hang on, we need to work out what we're doing for the next show, don't we? Yes, we do. We're doing A Man for Emily, Brian.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
you lucky people.
Yeah.
By the doozle and pin.
You know, I mean, words alone
Oh,
cannot
God.
express how I feel about A Man for Emily. I may do it in interpretive dance.
It could
I
be.
think screaming is quite a good way.
It could be a little bit.
I'll do it with my version of Yoko Ono doing A Man for Emily.
It could be that Lilibet thought we were looking at that tonight, like you did, and made an excuse. Shall
She is a crafty one.
Shall we just jump over The Man from Emily?
No. If I had to suffer,
Utter
all you
bastards.
bastards are suffering.
You utter bastard. Hey,
Uh-huh.
Picky. I look like a sack of spuds, but Picky from yesterday.
Cool.
Mullins,
That's
yeah.
good.
And well, I said, "Hello, I play your grandfather." That it tends to confuse people. I'm going to be honest.
I still want to see it explained.
What, my love?
I want to see the doctor's son or daughter.
Oh no, we
I
don't.
want
need
to
to
see
know that.
I want to see the whole thing.
We don't need to know that. You do that, you start limiting the series because it's set there. It's set there. It's
Set it in
there.
Big Finish.
That's why. No, I mean within the canon. I mean, he's got a great grandson. Susan's kid, Alex, who I think is coming back very shortly.
He's got a clone daughter.
Yes, who's his wife, and it's getting very deep south now.
He's got a daughter who played his clone daughter, who's now his wife.
Yep.
Work that one out. Yeah.
Who's also,
I'm looking forward to what the historians of the future make once facts start to blur slightly and get lost to time, and they're piecing it together.
Yeah, explaining that one is going to be very
That's
fascinating.
going to be great in 500
I'm thinking
years.
Mr. Copper's history lessons on Earth at Christmas. You know, every year they go to war with the people of Turkey,
And eat them.
you know, it's going to be a bit like that. Oh man, that's it. Oh no, hang on, I still haven't done this. Simon, give me a favourite Doctor.
Okay, Matt Smith.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm down with this.
Series 1, 2, or 3 of Matt Smith.
One.
Oh, except
Nice.
all right. Single or two-parter?
Single.
Oh,
Okay.
Brian, you're not joining in very much.
Oh, I'm just excited. I like Matt Smith.
Okay.
It's a shame you said single.
Oh, Silurians.
That's not
come
a
on.
single episode.
But it's cool.
We can wait until the land between the war and the sea for that.
Do we have to?
Yeah, why not?
Because, I mean, you saw the Sea Devils.
What? It's the Legend of the Sea Devils.
Yeah, the recent one.
Well, you never know. It might be better.
They looked like they were from Power Rangers.
Well, all right. Apart from the stupid movement smash to
He gets it. You've never seen it, but
Power
he
Rangers,
gets
no.
it.
But the thing is, they still kept essentially exactly the same face, exactly the same head. That's what I liked about it. And
Yep.
there were certain nods to their fishnet
Yes.
stuff on
Yeah.
the costumes. And again, I appreciated that. They looked a lot better than the Warriors of the Deep ones.
Yes.
So, still doing thinking, Brian. Hang on a second. I'll tell you one we ain't done.
Oh boy.
Amy's Choice.
Oh,
Good choice.
okay,
Yeah.
good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. That's what we'll
Down
do.
with that.
We'll let Lilibet know. There will be a big finish. It's just we've got to wait and see what's released. If you're still having trouble with the app and everything, try reinstalling, uninstalling, then re-downloading and installing. It is slowly getting worked out. I'm currently using the new app and that's working. But I don't use it that much. I only tend to use it for the latest things so that I can review stuff. But hang on there,
Do
kids.
I have Amy's Choice already?
What?
Oh, yes, I do. I got it.
What?
I
Catherine's
was
Choice.
looking for Amy's
I
Choice.
thought you said Catherine's Choice. I'm thinking, what?
No, I was looking for Amy's Choice. The episode we're supposed to watch. I just
Why
wanted to
do you
make
think
sure
I was
had it.
confused? There are a lot of
To
possible
be
answers.
fair, that's kind of your state of being these days.
You've never known me as anything else. Oh man, and so Amy's Choice, A Man for Emily, and whatever.
We're doing a whole thing about relationships next time. Mm-hmm.
I bloody hate you so much. Simon, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Oh, you are welcome. I say this to everyone, but you are welcome to come back whenever you want to. All right.
Thank you very much.
It's a delight. It really is. It's nice to have someone British here, so who gets my references. I'm stuck
Oh, we
with-
get them. We just don't want them.
No, I think you're right, quite frankly. Plus, to be honest, with you, a lot
Fair
of them
enough.
creak with age, and that doesn't help either. So, but anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Simon.
It's a pleasure.
Like I say, I mean, you said you enjoyed yourself. I call you a liar, but you know, it's one of those things. Okay, we're now going to do the closing titles, which means I've got a certain amount of time to think up a certain type of joke. Okie dokie. Say goodbye, guys.
boy. Goodbye,
Bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Now bugger off.
And we're off. Yeah.
John Levine was not in Death World. He became a zombie. Goat, please. Thank you.